welcome to Bible Story Time with Avon Valley Churches, youth, children and families. My name is Jan, and once again I have with me my adorable but rather naughty little dog called Susie. She's been quite good this week. She races on the river if there are ducks there, but she hasn't actually yet leapt into the river. That we are waiting for. But she's been quite good this week. Now this evening's story is called The Ark is Stolen and Recovered. Because the story is all about the Ark, I'd better remind you what it was. You probably remember that great leader Moses led the people of Israel out of Egypt and towards the promised land. In the wilderness, Moses went up a high mountain and listened to God. God told him the 10 Commandments, and they were carved on 2 great stones. These tablets of stones were put into a special wooden chest called the Ark of the Covenant. And because it contained the words of God, it was the most precious thing that the people of Israel possessed. So they took the Ark to the promised land and kept it in a special enclosure. You may also remember that the people of Israel had terrible trouble with their neighbours, the Philistines. Oh, the Philistines were greedy and forever wanting to steal some of Israel's land. They invaded towns on the borders and they often captured them. Now Eli, the high priest and leader of Israel, had grown very old, and his 2 sons were meant to be ruling with him. But these 2 sons were more interested in what was best for them. One day the Philistines invaded yet again, and these 2 sons of Eli decided that they would take with them into battle the Ark of the Covenant, so that it would bring them success. Oh dear, big mistake. The word of God was not to be treated like some lucky charm. They lost that battle, and the Philistines stole that ark. What a disaster. Also in that battle, Eli's 2 sons were both killed. And poor Eli, when he heard the news, he fell ill and he died. Now the Philistines worshipped false gods, and they made big statues which they called idols, which they put in their temples, and they bowed down before them. Well, they put Israel's Ark of the Covenant in one of their temples, where there was a great big idol called Dagon. Dagon looked a bit like half a man, half a fish. Very strange. Next morning, when the priest in charge of that temple opened the door, he found that Dagon had fallen flat on his face in front of the ark. Well, the priest felt very embarrassed because it looks as if Dagon was worshipping the ark. He quickly got a team of strong men, and they stood Dagon up again and put him back in his proper place. That evening all was as it should be when they locked the door for the night. But in the morning, when they opened the door, Dagon had fallen over again, and his head had broken off, and so had his hands. Then swarms of rats invaded the city, and they spread a dreadful plague that made people very ill, so much so that some people died. The people of that city felt that all this was brought about because they had stolen the Israelites' ark. So they sent it on to another city. But that city then got rats and the plague. So they soon sent the ark on its way again. When it happened a 3rd time, they realised that the ark must be got rid of. Clearly, the Israelites' God was very angry with them. "Send it back before it kills us all," shouted the people. So the rulers and the priests of Dagon had a meeting and they made a plan. A new wagon was made to their instructions, and they placed on that wagon the ark. Also, they put there 5 golden images of rats, one for each province in their country. Then they chose 2 cows, took away their calves, shut the calves well away where the cows couldn't see or hear them. They harnessed these 2 cows to the cart and they stood back. The cows set off, and of course they were quite confused to find that the wagon followed. They had never pulled a cart before. They soon got the hang of it, and away they went, mile after mile, on and on, right out of the Philistines' country and into Israel. Oh, the Israelites were delighted. They had their most precious treasure back. After that, they kept the Ark of the Covenant very safe. After the death of their old high priest, I should say, Eli, the people of Israel had appointed Samuel to be their leader. All his life, Samuel had been trained by Eli, so he made a very good new leader and high priest. He made the Israelites get rid of every idol in the whole country. Idols were forbidden. Now all the people worshipped the one true God, just as their parents and grandparents used to. They found that this made them feel strong and confident. So when the Philistines once again tried to invade, the people of Israel quickly chased them away. They recaptured all their old border towns and all became peaceful again. Samuel was a good ruler and the people enjoyed good times. The end. Oh, thank you for joining me. Next week, Granny Marianne will continue the story about what happened when Samuel became very old. So it's good night from me, and it's good night from naughty Susie. I'm getting kissed now. She's been good. She's been good. Say bye-bye, Susie. Wave your paw. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.